Raging and still out of control, the wildfires which have devastated this city. Firefighting planes bringing water from the ocean to tackle the blazes still raging in all parts of this city. Growing too is anger at a perceived lack of preparedness by authorities.
We shouldn't be seeing this. We should. This is where people need to wake up. Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is being criticised by some for water mismanagement as hydrants ran dry while fires multiplied.
So I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
The situation in California is heartbreaking. We're praying for those citizens there. The mismanagement of resources, the lack of preparedness is mind-blowing. But in this Real Estate Live, we're going to talk about solutions from a real estate standpoint, a capital standpoint, and a political standpoint that could actually drive the recovery in California. Man, this is going to be a good one. Bring in your pens and pads and your brains. Let's get in the debate. Let's get in this thing. You see that thing, baby. Let's get it in. Let's go.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. 40 days, God, I've been Swayze. Blew the bid out, that ain't shady. That's a bird, man, I ain't baby. Talking whole pie, that's so crazy. How I got a shot, raise the bean sprout up, put a crown up on her head so the boys seeing, no, that's a lady. If you ain't catch a double that time on the last rhyme, dog.
What's good, baby? It's your boy Dale. I'm back in the saddle again. Our motto is to buy, build. We already bought it already, so we already own it, free and clear. Refinance to long-term debt, cash flow. That is the motto. Cliff, man, is that a pretty strong motto, man? What do you think?
Man, the model is strong. Like, you're getting each piece of the invest, right?
What it do, y'all? It's your partner Cliff and Dale back in the saddle again for another edition of Real Estate Friday Live, man, every Friday at 5 p.m. CST. Cliff, what's going down, baby? How you doing, big time? You doing all right, brother?
Man, yeah, doing good, man. It's been a good week, a slow week. We had a little bit of weather out here, so just kind of working with this cold weather. But man, it's a good week.
It is, man. It's cold out here, guys. We're in Texas, so it's a snowstorm, so it's icy outside. I ain't went nowhere at all. I probably won't go nowhere till tomorrow, if even that. But man, Cliff, man, even though we had to work virtually, man, did we get the bag?
Oh yeah, got the bag. Hoping to get another one. It's a little slow, but we working on it.
We working on that thing. Yeah, we did get the bag, y'all. So man, you know, even though the snow's outside, we still know what's going on when it comes to the market, Cliff, man. So Cliff, man, bruh, we ain't never scared. No way. So if you could, Cliff, man, what's going on with the real estate market right now, locally as well as nationally, man? What you seeing in the market, big dog?
Man, it's I would say we got to slow down. I'm starting to see a lot more properties starting to lower their price.
Yeah.
I'm talking about dramatic. I saw one lowered it by 50,000.
Yeah.
From 450 to 400.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that pretty consistent. And like I said, the same thing last week is it may not show up in the prices necessarily, but if you're putting out offers, ask for rate buy downs. And I mean, I'm talking about start the negotiations at probably about 20,000.
Ooh.
Easy. I'm seeing that consistent. Like I've never seen the last couple of years where I'm seeing 15,000, 20,000. I saw I did one appraisal. I think it was 25,000. So you can get rate buy downs. You can get cash back, pay for closing costs. So I'm starting to see a lot more. Days on market are going up.
Yeah.
It's been flat, but
Yeah.
those are starting to creep up a little bit.
They are gas. So it's I'm seeing kind of the same thing, so to speak. People are kind of waiting for the rates to come down. I don't think it's going to happen about it at all. But it is stagnant. It is. But again, there's still opportunities out there, guys, whether it be retail or investor wise. I know that we're finding a lot of distressed properties in different segments of the market in different geographic areas. So we're finding those deals, which is fine. But we did a quick synopsis of what's going on with the current market analysis because we want to get to really what's going on, guys. What you really wanted to see, guys, is, hey, Cliff, man, this California wildfire home and policy issue, man, that's a sad situation, man. I want to say, I know Cliff kind of echoed this, man. We want to pray for those being affected by what's going on with the wildfires. Whether you're wealthy, middle class, or even lower class, this is affecting a lot of people. And this is not going to be a Real Estate Friday Live where we're going to bash it all. This is going to be solutions oriented, but we have to look at how we got here initially so that we can kind of unpack that as we go and provide real estate solutions, capital solutions, and political solutions, which is strategy capital, which drives impact, so we can begin to help our American brothers and sisters over in California to kind of rebound in the widespread cliff. You agree, man? You disagree?
I agree. It's a it's a sad thing that's happened out there. People losing their homes.
Yeah.
They have to figure it out. It's a tough situation, and you feel like it's not necessary. There's things we could have done, changes we could have made, so that people don't have to deal with this kind of stuff. But you got people mismanaging how to actually run things, and this is what ends up happening. I mean, it just seems like it's just so unnecessary. So anybody who's doing with that out there, man, good luck. There's a lot of resources try to help you. Hopefully they make changes so you don't have to deal with this again.
Yeah, that is correct, guys. Let's walk through this real quickly, guys. Let's see what's going on. There's a video that we're going to show, guys, of a young lady. She was able to get it in with the you're going to see what's going on in that area, and then she gets to interface with the governor. I don't know if you guys have seen this video, but I thought it would be wise to kind of go through, because this deals, you're going to see the destruction of homes, and then you're going to see how the current leadership from a state standpoint responded to an actual tax-paying citizen who lost everything, is asking for some questions, Cliff. And then you and I respond as well. Here we go. Let's dive into it.
Here. Evacuation order for Malibu, east of Las Flores.
As the emergency alerts continue unabated across Los Angeles, Rachel is returning to the Pacific Palisades.
Oh, 719 Island Street, good.
It's been home her whole life, but she barely recognises it.
Apocalypse.
Around every corner, almost complete destruction.
This was a little cooking store thing. This is a parking lot for a center.
Firefighting planes bringing water from the ocean to tackle the blazes still raging in all parts of this city. Growing too is anger at a perceived lack of preparedness by authorities.
We shouldn't be seeing this. We should. This is where people need to wake up. Because if you're voting and you're picking people for softness or for the fuzzy feeling you got because they seem like they're good people, I want to know that we're going to have someone in charge.
Then Rachel spots a face she recognises.
Is that Gavin Newsom? That's the governor. That's the governor. Governor, I live here, governor. That was my daughter's school, governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is being criticised by some for water mismanagement as hydrants ran dry while fires multiplied.
So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So
There's
let's
no
get
cell
it.
service.
Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the
doing-
president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild. We're getting
Why
the
was there no
resources to do
water
it.
in the hydrants,
That's
Governor?
all that's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to
Right.
be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
To
everything
fill the
I can.
hydrants. I would fill them up personally, you know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I would. I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
Diminishing winds are
So, Cliff, man, you see that, man. What goes through your mind, big dog?
You know, I would start with the beginning. Doesn't need doesn't need to happen to begin with. You don't need to have the fires. You know, there's other places that they have similar type of weather, similar type of forests, you know, and they don't deal with these type of issues. It's to have this happen consistently is that's the problem. You know, things can happen you didn't expect. We understand that. You do what you can, but when it's happening every year, what are you doing to stop it going to next year? And when you say you don't have water, you go to a hydrant.
Yeah.
I'll be on. You know, I never considered that, Dale. I never considered if I had a fire in my house, there's a fire hydrant not too far from me. I never considered that just wouldn't have any water in it.
Correct. Yeah, man. This without having any type of questions, answers to the question that she had, you can tell she's very animated in a great way because she's lost everything. She's lost everything. I mean, you're driving through that carnage there. And as a leader, people have voted for you, right? They expect for you to actually have answers. We said, "Hey, where's the water at?" And he just said, "I know." I'm like, people don't want to hear "I know." They want to hear solutions. Solutions. That's a term that I kind of say, Cliff. I say, entrepreneurs look for problems to solve. Politicians look for situations to cause more problems because providing solutions will yield them to be jobless. And so that's what I kind of saw with those answers. And she was saying, "Hey, I want to be on the phone call with you and the president to see exactly what's going on." She said, "Because I don't believe you." That is a shot to anyone's, no pun intended, their ego and their character to say, "I don't believe what you're going to tell me." That's sad, guys. Again, this is not to bash them at all. We got to look at how this happened and where we're at so that we can prescribe the right strategy for the solution. All right. So now, Cliff, we've heard from the governor and a tax-paying citizen of California. Now let's go to the business side, because there's another side of this, Cliff, that now a lot of people are really paying attention to, and this is the insurance side. The insurance side of this thing is something, guys. So this is Patrick Bet-David, good guy, business leader. He's going to give a different perspective on the insurance side, right? Because whenever a property burns down, what do you file, Cliff? You file what? An insurance claim.
Right. Yep.
So, but there's an issue when it comes to the insurance in California. Let's unpack it real fast, and then Cliff, we'll jump into the solutions here in a second. Here we go.
Everybody who knows him loves him, right? I'm checking on him and his family to make sure everything is right. And he says, for 38 years, he's been paying homeowners insurance. Always on time. This is a responsible man, a solid guy, family guy, great guy. One of the top 5 men that has influenced my life directly, okay? And he says, just last week, this is before the fires, I got a notice last week that they are dropping my coverage.
Wow.
Okay? That they're dropping my coverage last week. Now, I'm not going to give the insurance companies names. All I'm telling you is, you know, there's a lot of names, State Farm, Farmers, Liberty. There's a bunch of them that you can go through that are out there that are dropping it. Allstate, it's all over the place, right? That this is a real story that's going on. Okay. The question he asks, which is the question, you know, we ask on the video is, here's the following. He says, he's not worried about himself. He says, but what happens if after you are in your home and the rates get so high, you can't afford it anymore? Does the loan company call the loan? Do they repossess your house? State Farm stopped writing new policies for house insurance altogether in California a few years ago. Wow. And that's a few years ago. Yeah. And now California's politicians are forcing insurance companies to insure houses in areas that are high risk. And insurance companies are saying, no, why would I do it? I'm leaving your state. Yeah. So here's where the problem is going to lie. So imagine how many people lost their homeowners insurance, and then this just happened. How are you fixing a house? Who has? And by the way, how much do you think these houses are in California?
Multi-million dollar.
But in California, you're not a it's not like the multimillionaire people think. It's like, oh, he's a, you know, what do you call it? Woods. James Woods can pay.
No, he
can't. And James Woods is an $8 million guy at 77 years old. Yeah. He's been acting for a long time, and you lose the house. And if you don't have insurance, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. And forget about you don't have insurance. How long do you think, this is the part that Adam Carolla broke it down, which was phenomenal, the way he broke it down. It's a 6-minute video. It's worth everybody watching. We're not going to play the whole 6 minutes, but here's what he said. He says, okay, what are you going to do when all of a sudden, all of these Malibu people, right there, he's saying that he's doing a podcast out of a, Rob, if you can personally listen to it and go to the part where it explains. Is that what it is?
This is where he starts talking about people voting Democrat and how that's going to change in the future. But I don't think that's the point.
No, that's not where I'm going.
You want the beginning.
Don't worry about it. I'm just saying, and then, you know, it's fine. So this is where he's going. He says, what are you going to do when all of these rich people in the Palisades, in Malibu, in Pasadena, Pasadena's got a lot of rich communities. Pasadena's got $20-30 million homes.
Big time.
So what are you going to do when these guys, their house is burned down? What is a rich person going to do? You know what? Go expedite the process of getting a permit. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
He says it's going to take, he says the reason why Bill Maher finally flipped in California is because of a damn, solar he wanted to put on his house that it took so long. It's like, why it says we created a 1,000-day countdown.
Yes.
To see how long it's going to take for the solar to go on. So finally, when he's talking to the other actress, what's the actress that was on just
Jane Fonda.
5 weeks ago? Jane Fonda. You're not seeing the problem with all these permits?
No.
So watch what happens. One of the reasons why we left Oakland Park is we're trying to get a damn permit for a fence. 2 years, 2.5 years for one permit. And then go and amplify that with all of these builders. How many builders do you have in California? So now somebody says, hey, I want my permit. And he's saying, this person that's a lesbian working there, giving permits, all this stuff, is going to sit there and use her power to make it harder for you to get the permit. Now you're going to realize why deregulation is the way to go. Liberals are going to realize the power of deregulation because regulations are slowing so much shit down. And he's absolutely right. Because what now takes place is I rebuild the house. Hey, I'm willing to pay $5 million to rebuild my house. Great. Let's go wait for a permit. No, I need you to start building now. It's not how this works. We need a permit.
Look at that.
So the line for permits.
Oh my God.
Imagine the line for permits.
Forget it.
What that's going to look. So then imagine what permits are going to be put on pause.
Wow.
So there's so many other permits right now that are pending. So imagine you want a permit right now. The city now has to decide which permit is more important. Imagine the fights that are going to take place in cities of wanting permits. He says that's when you realize it's going to take 3 years until they put the first brick. When they first come and break and start building your house 3 years after you're trying to get a permit, he says that's when people are going to realize, liberals are going to realize, what the F are we voting for? And he's 100% right. By the way, you know who would be a good candidate?
So, Cliff, right there, real quickly, before he keeps going. If you could tell everybody about a real live scenario real quickly. Concerning what Patrick, because again, people may say, that's theory. That's theory. Okay, Cliff, give them real facts. Tell them about a situation when it comes to a bathroom in California. And go.
Yeah, so California, I think it was in LA. So they're in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is trying to build a bathroom. right? So they don't have enough spaces for people to go to the bathroom up near downtown, and so they want to be able to install one. They got the original bid, and it was $3 million. So the
Jesus.
city was going to pay, have a men's and ladies' room built near downtown. $3 million. An actual developer came along and said, "Don't even worry about it. We're going to donate the cost to build it."
Yep.
Cool. City's like, great. It's going to be donated. It's all good. The developer came back and said it's still going to cost us $1 million in permits and fees to build the bathroom, to build the restroom, even though we're donating the materials and the labor.
So, call on Cliff. So let me get this straight. The builder is donating the materials and the labor, right? Which is what builders make their money off of, right? They're donating it out of their pocket. They still had to pay $1 million in permits just to be able to give away the labor as well as the materials for free. Is that right?
Yep. And permits and fees in order to do that. And I forget exactly what the time was too. And it was like, even to get the approval was going to be 6-9 months of getting the approvals.
In what world does that make sense for a builders like you and I to come in and begin doing business in a place called California? How does that make sense?
It makes California sense.
What you mean by California sense? What you mean by that?
I mean the opposite, the opposite of common sense.
Thank you.
California sense.
California damn sense, guys. It doesn't make sense, and this is the reason why Patrick was saying that. And he used to live in California for 24 years. Patrick did before he moved to Texas and then to Florida, right? For just to put up a fence around his house, 2-year permitting process for a freaking fence. 2 years, Cliff, for a fence, not a house, a fence around his house, not a house. A damn fence. So why are we bringing this up, guys? The reason why is because of the fact that I love the point that Patrick just made. He said liberals who are really for this, because it's a liberal, is a super majority in California, super majority. Liberal leaning places, and to be fair, permitting processes are really at the state and county level, and some at the city and county level, and some of the state level, but mostly city and county. Right?
Yep.
So really, because we're talking about the city of LA is a liberal city and county. Am I right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Super liberal. So you have whole subdivisions, then in the entire city, not all of it, but a lot of the city, in carnage because of these wildfires. There's going to be a permitting issue, right? As well as a building issue because of the permitting issue. And just because your name is so-and-so with so-and-so millions of dollars is going to mean nothing, because you have 25 other people that have that same type of stature with the same type of money over you more. Who gets first dibs? And the middle class, so I feel so sorry for you, because you're not even in the pile. You're at the bottom of the pile. And the lower middle class, good luck. 5 years from now, that's when you'll get something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And the insurance companies were already, before the fires, were looking at leaving California. Now they have even more of an incentive. You might have some of the smaller insurance companies that are like, man, forget this. I'm gone. We are losing money in California. Why are we there? And so now anybody who is building their house again, your insurance is going to be through the roof. Matter of fact, everybody in LA, your insurance is going to be through the roof.
Through the roof, guys. Through the roof. I was talking to a friend of mine and he works for State Farm. He actually flies around, and he has a team, and he's a claims adjuster is what he is. But he's the boss. And he said, Liddell, people are paying $1,000 a month in just fire insurance in California. And just fire insurance, $1,000 a month.
And you know what? That it starts to make sense when you realize in LA, 3.2 1,500 square feet is 1.1 million.
Jesus, that's ridiculous. Now, so we began with the politician. Now we look at the insurance side. Now there's another side that people are not focusing on, which has been prevalent for a long period of time, but it's the biggest scam ever. And watch out for this scam, and then Cliff will get into solutions here in a second. So let's walk through this really quickly here, right, Cliff? And this is going to shock. Cliff has not seen this before. I have. So this is going to be the first time Cliff have ever seen this before. This is the biggest scam in the history of mankind. Scam. This homeless scam in California. So Cliff, let's listen to this. And then what happened, man, is then we can dive into the solutions. Here we go. Let's dive into this.
How much do you make? $242,000 a year.
Can you describe what you do in one sentence?
I oversee homeless programs for a very large nonprofit in the city of Los Angeles.
That's a big role. And what's your biggest struggle in that job?
Not enough housing, not enough housing, not enough housing.
All right, today we're going to expose this entire grift. First, I dug around a little bit, and the nonprofit that she worked for is called LA Family Housing. And according to their IRS Form 990, they received $65 million in government grants last year.
Wow.
And you know how she talked about housing being so important? Well, this is what they're talking about. LA Family Housing is transforming a 1950s motel into apartments for supportive housing. But then you look at the price tag, $60 million for 41 apartments. $60 million. LA has a homeless population of over 75,000, and that's how they think $60 million of taxpayer money should be spent. That's either incompetence or gross negligence, and I'm thinking the latter. Because here's what I think the scheme is with all these affordable housing units that are popping up all over Los Angeles. It's a complete bait and switch scam. Because here's what's going on. The construction of affordable housing developments is subsidized by public funds. In exchange, rents are regulated by covenants, but these covenants carry an expiration date. And once a covenant expires, a building's owner is not required to pay back any public funds. Rather, he is freed from all regulations which kept rents down, able to extract and hoard all future profits. And in the city of Los Angeles alone, there is an estimated 11,000 affordable housing units, which will convert to market rate within the next 5 years. So these massive public housing projects are nothing but a huge money laundering scheme between these real estate developers and these nonprofit administrators who are making monster salaries, and also politicians who I assume are getting kickbacks, allegedly. I mean, how else would you explain this insane statistic that LA is spending $837,000 to house a single homeless person? Damn. So I give these people two options. Either A, actually end homelessness, or B, we should demand to defund this whole boondoggle. Okay, I have to do a follow-up on this lady who makes $250,000 a year combating homelessness, because this story is so much more juicy and corrupt than I had even realized. So let's get into it. Okay, so remember when I said she worked for a nonprofit called LA Family Housing? Well, it turns out she was actually fired from LA Family Housing, according to this lawsuit. Allegedly, she was getting in a little bit of hot water with her boss for starting a consulting business on the side. I checked on LinkedIn, and it looks like she's not running one consulting business. She's actually running two consulting businesses that have to do with housing. Now, of course, she's disputing that's why she was fired. She's claiming that these are the real reasons why she was fired from LA Family Housing. You can pause to read, and this is why she's filing a lawsuit now. Obviously, I'm not privy to exactly what went down, but you can search this lawsuit and read all the details and decide for yourself. But regardless, I wouldn't lose too much sleep worrying about her, because she's now failed upward and is the new chief executive strategist for the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority. That's right, she is now an official government employee. There she is. Funny enough, the face of this new article from the LA Times reporting that a county audit has found lax accounting at the LA Homeless Services Authority. And just for context, the LAHSA annual budget stands at $875 million. About $348 million comes from the county's coffers. It is a massive government agency. And here's what the audit found. Quote, LAHSA, a city-county joint powers agency, failed to establish formal agreements on how and when advances should be repaid, did not always maintain records for capital advances, and could not provide an accurate list of all the contracts and their execution dates. They've apparently also failed to reclaim millions of dollars in cash advances to contractors. And you guys ready for this next part? Remember these consulting businesses that she runs? Well, LAHSA's newly hired chief executive strategist, okay, her, that's who we've been talking about. She, according to state business filings, owns a consulting business, which we knew about. But what we didn't know about is that she owns the consulting business with the leader of one of LAHSA's largest contractors. Come on. This number is starting to make a whole lot of sense now. Why we have to spend $837,000 to house a single homeless person. It's because developers, contractors, nonprofits, and city administrators like her are all in cahoots with one another. I mean, if we just look statewide, $24 billion have been spent on homelessness, with homelessness going up. California, according to the latest statistics, has about 180,000 people who are experiencing homelessness. If we just took the $24 billion and gave it to each homeless person, they would be getting $130,000 each. I'm not saying that I would propose this or if this would be my preferred option.
Yeah, for real.
It is starting to sound like this would be a hell of a lot better idea than what we're doing right now, which I think is just people embezzling hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars each year, allegedly.
So Cliff, man, bruh, what you think about that whole grift there, brother? Talk to your partner.
Man, I do think, there's a lot of veterans. There's a lot of people who do need help.
Sure.
I think we do need to help them.
Sure.
But you might as well give them that $130K.
Yeah.
Then all that other kind of stuff you're doing. I mean, that's insane. $130,000 a person you're spending. And then you see how the connection is between the lady running it and the developers.
Yeah.
That's wild. I've never seen that before. So it's crazy to see. We knew it was happening.
Sure.
But to actually see the storyline of how it's happening, the person.
Yeah.
And that lady was in charge of $65 million.
65 million. Yeah.
And she can easily, we made a mistake. We're off $5 million. Where'd the money go? Oh, we overpaid. We did this. No, somebody got that extra. Somebody got the development deal to build a $5 million, $10 million building and then said, contractors, it's not crazy for them to say, oh, it's double.
Yep. Every time, Cliff, every time. So that is what's going on there. It's the biggest grift ever. So we had the politicians, we had the insurance companies, and now we also have the NGOs, right? And they're all working together. All working together. So Cliff, I know we talked about a lot of the issues. Let's dive into what we call the bounce back. Yeah. Let's go to the bounce back real fast, guys. Strategy, capital, and when it releases impact. Cliff, here's my thought process concerning how to solve this problem. Because what I see is you have the issue is when it comes to the insurance companies, they're pulling out. And typically that was the capital pool that was needed to rebuild homes. Would that be correct, Cliff?
Right.
Is it safe to conclude that the lion's share of them, a large number of them, have either withdrawn that coverage for fire insurance and or would not cover that the rebuilding of the homes?
Right. Yeah. They're going to pull their resources from that area.
Gotcha. So now we have a resource problem. And typically when there is a insurance that's not prevalent, that falls back upon the government, correct?
Right.
Now we see the government spending $24 billion in the last 5 years. 5 years. Really 6 years since for homelessness, right? So the money is there, and of course, California is taxing the hell out of people, right? So there's some money there. What about this strategy, Cliff? What if investors like you and I was to work hand in glove with citizens there, because you have a political strategy to lower down regulations and lower down the permitting process. It's going to affect everybody, rich, middle class, or poor. It's all going to affect you, right? So we need the citizens there to have a full court press on this permitting process. Would you agree on that?
Right. Yeah.
All right. So now we got the political portion taken care of. Number two, but you have to build the homes. So people like you and I can come in and rebuild the homes in partnership with institutional lenders or banks that we actually do business with right now. They'll give us the money because we have the balance sheet and the and the experience to do this at a scalability standpoint. Would you agree or disagree?
Right. Yeah, I see you.
So now we're building the homes back. So, but now we have to put these people back into these homes, right? Could we not do this as well also? Because the rates are immensely high, right? Which is not good for anyone at all. Could we not do it maybe a seller finance scenario or a lease purchase scenario to the point to where we can begin to work with the government to be able to get them back in the homes and for them to own those homes as well also? Would you agree or disagree on that one?
I think you could do lease option. California, that won't work.
Okay.
Because it's too much regulation. They'd have to vote on that, and you ain't getting no votes. Change that. The lease option, they gonna hate you.
Well, I guess my question is, if that is the case, how do you get these homeowners back into these homes? Because without the removal of these regulations, you're kind of stuck like Chuck, correct?
Yeah, I think he's probably gonna declare a state of emergency.
He already has.
And that may allow them to do mass approvals. That's the only way I'm thinking, is they're gonna have to do something like that to be able to push through all the approvals, just get them done. Or they're gonna come up with some kind of certification program where the developer they can submit it to a third party, let's say.
Okay.
And the city recognizes that third party as like a high level review team.
Sure.
And so when they see a document coming from that third party, they just approve it.
So what you're saying is, rather than removing the regulations, he has already declared a state of emergency, right, for that area. And with the state of emergency, it gives him the powers, and also the mayor the powers, to be able to waive a lot of stuff to get things done appropriately, correct?
Right. Yeah.
There's going to have to be some type of developer that comes in there that actually gets that accomplished, because the insurance companies are not going to pay for it. They're not. They lose money by doing it unless the state, not the city, the state, in some form or fashion, gets them some type of subsidy. But if I'm State Farm or Allstate and I remove the coverage for that home, why would I come back in to recover it when I remove the coverage? So my relationship with that person is gone. Does that make sense or no?
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but if the second the state starts subsidizing, you're gonna see costs go up.
Well, that's normal in California, unfortunately. But yeah, that would be. This is the reason why I think that investors like you and I should come in and rebuild these homes, right? Because we know how to negotiate, get things done the right way, and then come up with some type of agreement with the homeowner to either from a seller finance standpoint and or a banking standpoint to be able to get them approved to reacquire those homes back. Now, there's going to be some pushback for people that actually have owned these properties free and clear initially. Now, there may be something we can work with where it comes with the city, the county, or the state to get that kind of accomplished as well, because if someone owns it free and clear, why would I take on an additional debt for a house that I had nothing to do with burning down? Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, it makes sense.
There has to be some type of partnership there from a strategy standpoint to be able to attract the capital, right? And with the right capital invested the right way, a positive impact. And I think the strategy has to be a coordination of political pressure from the citizens, of course, entrepreneur ingenuity when it comes to developing, right? And when it comes to capital, when it comes to the partnerships there, and that capital being implemented the right way, and the impact is going to be with the entrepreneur and the citizen being able to work with the state, county, and a municipal government to be able to find the balance there to be able to rebuild these homes, because a lot of these homes, Cliff, they ain't having insurance, man.
Then the question is which banks own a majority, who have loans on majority of these homes, because they're gonna have some losses on their books, millions of dollars in losses, because what does the insurance company do if the prices are getting so high that, because like what you're saying is a combination to the state, the insurance companies, and the developers all working together.
Yeah.
The problem with that is if the state is intervening, That means that they have to provide revenue, so taxes will go up.
Yeah.
The insurance companies are taking losses, so their prices have to go up.
Sure.
So even if the state subsidizes, for whatever price the insurance companies are being subsidized, the taxes will go up.
Yeah,
So
there could be some inflation there.
Mm.
That's a given, unfortunately, guys, because it's California. Whenever because you have a cash issue, the cash issue is the insurance company normally solves that cash issue. Hence, the insurance. You just file a claim. But if they're not there at all, Cliff, it falls back on the government. The government has to step in. They got to step in. So how can you mitigate the inflationary risk? The only way that actually happens is if you actually have a entrepreneur that comes in, right? Get that accomplished. Now, what the state can do is just here, walk with me. Hypothetically, Cliff and I go to California. We begin investing in these homes and building these homes up, right? For, let's say, a whole subdivision. And now we borrow the debt to get that accomplished. Let's say we build the houses in 90 days, right? Cool. These are 322s, 422s. We ain't got to the mansions yet. The people that put mansions, they got the money, they can write a check, right? And I can guarantee you those mansions, they have their insurance. They got that insurance. They got it. So this is really for the middle class. So what we can typically do is we can say, hey, state, you've invested $24 billion since 2019 for the homelessness problem. And homelessness is going up. It ain't going down, it's going up. So you already have that money already allocated there. Move those resources over to this bucket to where you just pay us off. Right? You just pay us off because we invested the capital and the time to get it accomplished. We don't need no 3-4 years. We're going to need this to be done under emergency actions. The money's already there. It's not new dollars. It's money that's already there. Does that make sense, Cliff, or no? Does that make sense?
Makes sense. But I see what you're saying. The strategy may be correct. My issue really comes in the fact that having faith in them to do that. Their execution is a nice plan, but when you're hoping for them to execute on their end,
do it. Yeah, they're gonna do it. That'd be very hard. There's gonna have to be some sort of concession on paper with very little process involved from the state, county, and municipal, which is the city scenario. If that's not ironed out at all, no investor's going to go in there. Why would we?
Like I said, I think the best way I've seen the expediting of these type of processes has been in, I think it was Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit or Cleveland. I'm trying to remember which one, but they empowered third parties to do a lot of what the city was doing. And they're just saying, hey, you're already licensed. You submit the paperwork into us, and then we just process it, versus everything has to go through us as like the management team. Anytime the state has to manage something, they're going to mismanage it. So, for example, your approval process for you're submitting to get a new house built. If you have a third party that already certified it, it's already gone through the proper certifications with third parties, and it has some kind of stamp from these 3 companies, then the city should go, okay, that's AAA verified, approved.
So what you're saying is invest a lot of your political capital into dumbing down the process go ahead.
I'm saying take that. The city already has a process for renovations, like a fence, solar panels, something like that. The problem is, because trust me, how I know, you submit your paperwork, and then you wait. You call. You already know. Try calling the city. You don't hear nothing back. All of that kind of stuff. And then after a week, maybe 2, they tell you, or even a month, they tell you, nope, it's wrong. Fix X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
And now you have to start all over again. On that process.
Yep.
What they're doing in Detroit, this is the genius to me. Detroit, they outsource it. So instead of you submitting everything to the city, you call I'm trying to build a house. I actually call an architect and I call a home inspector. Right? They approve everything. All the management and the approvals of the documentation goes through them. Then the city gets it, and they basically already have approval from a
Wow.
home inspector and another verified third party on
Makes
there.
sense.
And now it goes into a expedited sense to where they just kind of have to flip through the pages, make sure it's decent and submit it, versus them having to go to their own reviewer
Gotcha.
in-house.
So what you're saying is just carbon copy what Detroit is doing.
Man, because think about Detroit. They have that problem. They have a lot of dilapidated houses, a lot of renovations.
They do.
And they cannot keep up with all of it going through the city. So they
Correct.
just empowered third parties, the home inspector who knows houses.
Correct. That makes total sense, guys. California, LA County, LA, the city of Los Angeles. Your leaders should be getting it in with Detroit.
Oh, 100%.
Getting it in. Hey, guys, we got an issue. What's going on? I know you guys had a lot of dilapidated homes. How have you simplified your permitting approval process there when it comes to permits and things of that nature? And let them walk you through it. Who do you advise us to use to get this accomplished? Do they have a California office?
And the great thing about that too is, let's say there's an issue with the property. Who was the home inspector that approved it?
Yeah.
They have liability insurance that they have to have.
Yep.
And then you get to, now there's insurance, but not through the home, through the inspector who had to have it. It's smart.
That makes total sense, because that then now passes the liability from the city on to the inspectors. That, wait a minute, we gave you the power to do this, and you missed this. We got a claim against you. He has insurance to cover all that, like a doctor, like an attorney, right? So this is not nothing new. Other professions actually use it. It just so happens that a major city like Detroit, just like Los Angeles, has perfected the system, right? Get it in with them. This is not hard to do.
Right.
That will attract investors, developers to invest the capital to rebuilding California, not California, but Los Angeles. And then all you do is just, once you perfect the LA, you then partner with other cities. Others just do the exact same thing. Now you have an additional revenue stream coming in there. Real simple. Not hard. Am I right, Cliff?
No, you're right. I mean, when I heard that, I said, wait a second. So if I need a permit for the plumber, I could just call a home inspector? Yeah. Well, I can have him out tomorrow.
Yes. Speed, accuracy. Because for us, there's a time cost to capital being out, right? So the faster we can get to from start to finish, the faster we can get to the next deal, to the next home, and the faster we can get everything approved, we can get the homeowner back into the house. It's real simple. Time value of cash. We don't want to wait 2-3 years. We want to get it done in 90 days. Get in, get out.
Exactly. And to those home inspectors, they're making additional revenue, and then guess what? They're paying taxes back to the city. So the city's getting more revenue that way. Man, it's a win-win.
And also appraisers. Appraisers are making more money as well, and they're paying what? Payroll taxes. Of course, when it comes to homeowners, because you now rebuilt the homes, right? The city and county and state is no longer foregoing those property taxes. You're not collecting additional property taxes as well also. So not only is the government making more money when it comes to payroll taxes from the inspector as well as from the appraisal company, sales taxes. There's more tax revenue coming in for the city, county, and states. It's a win-win. Right. What's the problem?
Man, it's ideological. They as much as that idea may work, they love central control.
They love it. I can tell you right now, if you guys are so married to central control that you're willing to allow for LA to go to shit, forgive my language, you're going to get voted out. You best believe no donor is going to give to any of your campaigns. That crap is gone. Why? They lost their home. They lost their home. I have never seen so many Californians upset, whether you are liberal or conservative or independent. They are pissed. So the LA City Council, the sitting mayor, Mayor Bass, the Assembly, and the Senate in California, and the governor, better get your shit together, because the election is next year for y'all. You better get this together.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
We're gonna see. If not, and if y'all keep voting for the same people, man, y'all deserve, I'm sorry. I mean this in all love. You deserve what's going on, unfortunately. I hate that your house is burnt down, but this should not. I would say you deserve this because you don't really deserve it at all. So forgive me for saying that. It's more of if you keep voting the same people in that have this thinking, it's insanity for you to think that this is going to change. Am I right, Cliff? Or am I wrong?
Nah, I mean, you voted this way so far. How's it been?
You get what you vote for. But man, I think this is a good exchange, Cliff, of how we can bring real world solutions to a catastrophic situation in California. Again, praying for you guys, man. And I'm open to helping out, Cliff. I know if the deal makes sense. I know Cliff will be open to helping out from an investor standpoint. Keyword investor standpoint. Okay, investor standpoint, because this is California.
Man, they got an opportunity to do something. I mean, if you have a whole street that's knocked down, I mean, you could literally go to each one of those people and try to do what's called an assemblage, assemble those properties together and make more housing.
Yes, you can.
Where you put some townhomes that are built up and make use of it. But the city's got to have some vision.
They have to have some vision, guys. They gotta have it, man. If they don't, guys, I feel sorry for you. It's not gonna go well for you guys, unfortunately. I'm just keeping it 1,000 with you guys. Man, Cliff, you want to say anything, man, before we chime off, man, real fast?
No, man, you already know I usually say the same thing. You know, you one deal away, which is true. I'm gonna add a little something on here different because I had a good conversation with someone, which is a great way for retirement is a small portfolio for the average person. You'll be amazed what 4, 5 houses can do for you in retirement when you're buying them now. You take care of them over 10, 20 years. And all of a sudden you got $1 million, 1 million dollars to retire on. It's faster and easier than trying to save the money. And it's just another avenue.
And I would say also just saving just cash, and cash right now is a depreciating asset right now. It's losing value.
Right.
If your retirement solution is to save a whole bunch of worthless cash or an asset that's losing value, you have to work double the time to be able to meet the accumulation of hard assets like real estate, right? So yes, I mean, we went through strategies to where you can actually buy 4 properties a year, 1 a quarter, right? With a 25% equity spread per deal. You've added 100% of equity. If we just use simple numbers, let's just say that 25% is equal to, let's say, 100,000. Let's say 50,000 a piece. 50,000 times 4 is 200 grand. Your net worth has went up $200,000 in 1 year. Just one net worth. And let's not walk through how much money you've made when you acquired the right way distressed properties below wholesale, renovated it up, increased it, and then you can refi, you can sell it itself. Let's say, for instance, you're making per deal 10, 20 grand a deal. Let's say 10 grand a year. So you made an extra $40,000 in income, and you've added another 200 grand in equity to your balance sheet. That's not a bad 12 months. Is that right, Cliff?
No, not at all.
Not at all. But it all comes down to you learning how to acquire real estate at the right price point. Cliff, do you make money when you acquire real estate or when you sell it?
When you acquire.
When you acquire it, if you buy it right, you can never lose unless you're very incompetent. If you're incompetent, we help you out. This is the reason why we Cliff and I are giving away our free ebook. It's called Distressed Property Investing. It is free. We want nothing from you. Either scan on the QR code on the screen, click on the link below, or direct message myself or Cliff the word real estate, and our team will get you out the link. It is free. Our whole philosophy is if we can teach you how to locate real estate, right, in your city, county, or state, vet the deal the right way, structure the deal, we will fund the deal for you and private split with you. Cliff, did we have any of this help initially when we actually began investing in real estate?
No, none.
So we've had to learn a lot of this on trial and error. Is that right?
Right, exactly.
But we learned a lot via trial and error. Am I right?
Man, learned too much. You know what I'm saying? Learned too much. Should have
Mhm.
been a situation where someone else was teaching us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you this here, guys. This is just give you an example. And this is not theory. We've done this. Cliff, I'm going to talk about what property we actually acquired. Let's talk about Rutledge property. Rutledge. What was the purchase price of that property, Cliff?
Oh, much was like 15.
15,000.
Yeah.
The as-is value was about 20,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a $5,000 kind of a delta there in our favor, right? How much did we put in that property? 30 to 40 grand, am I right?
Yeah, I think it was like 40.
40,000. So 15 plus 40 is $55,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cliff, what was the after repair value of that property?
100, 105, 110.
Yeah, it was 110.
110, yeah.
So if you look at the numbers, Cliff, and all we did was we refinanced that property, right?
Yep.
So the 110 times, I think it was 80%, right? I said it was 80%.
Yeah.
80% of 110 was $88,000. Cliff, how much were we all in?
55? Yeah.
So 88 minus 55 is $33,000. Cliff, was any of that taxed?
No.
Gotcha. So it wasn't taxed. So not only did we make $33,000 on that deal, non-tax income, we also added 20% equity to our balance sheet. Is that right, Cliff?
Right.
That's not theory. And Cliff, we just listed out as of today. Am I right, Cliff?
Yes.
Yep. So we just got an email live on the program of our property manager. Let us know they was leased out for us. So now we cast on now.
Yep. Just got that deposit. He said we got the deposit today. Mm-hmm.
We have another one also in the same city. And Cliff, are we looking to buy more properties in that same city?
Man, I was just looking at it the other day, knowing what we know. So okay, now we're getting some more data. We know how to buy a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh man, we could pull off a handful of these more. Like, we had one that was okay, one that was good.
Yeah.
Now that we know how to do the good ones,
Yeah.
man, we can do a handful more like that and do better. We know what we're getting into a little bit more. Yeah, man, it's gonna look real nice.
Real nice for us, guys. Real nice. So again, guys, this is not theory. It's what we do every day. Cliff is a licensed appraiser, right? So, and it's commercial as well as residential. Am I right, Cliff?
Yeah, starting just we originally was doing residential, but now doing commercial properties.
Which is great, guys. So for you guys to actually have access to a licensed appraiser, that is golden in real estate investing, because normally we don't have access to someone like this at all. No. And me being a private equity investor that knows how the numbers behind everything as well. Also, just, hey, Cliff, man, take a look at this deal, man. Let me know. So Cliff, let me know in seconds. Dale, the asset value is this, ARV is this, scope of work is this. Got it? Makes sense. And we move forward fairly quickly. It's not hard at all. That's what you have access to. And we're willing to get all the information to you for free. It's right there on the screen. That's it, man. But Cliff, man, tell them also, man, if you don't mind, Cliff, man, tell them, guys, Cliff, again, he does offer a service, guys, as well, for those that actually need some appraising needs as well. Cliff, man, tell them about that. Tell them about Hunter Appraisals. Tell them about it, brother.
So you can go to the website right there, hunterappraisal.com, and do residential, commercial. Just hit me up and go to the website, give me a call either way, and we'll get you hooked up. And we do consulting. We'll appraise your property. We can do starting to go across the country now, but just hit us up. We'll be able to help you out.
Yes, sir, guys. But that's what it is, man. But guys, man, that's all I have for today, guys. Oh, lastly, if you guys don't like real estate, which is okay, don't worry, your partner's got you. There is another video that a friend of mine did. He used me as a kind of a case study, and one of it, it's called the Passive Income Blueprint by my good friend Matt Zapala, guys. It's the top 3 ways for you to generate passive income. while you're actually working your full-time job, guys. And you'll be alarmed at the third option that he talks about. Again, scan on the link. Click on the link below, scan on the QR code, or DM me the word passive income, and we'll get out to you. Again, it is free. It didn't cost you a dime at all. But you know how we end it every time. Before you leave, and while you can't see that thing, baby, take that picture for your mama and them. Holla at you. God bless you guys. See you next week, guys. All right, y'all. Peace.
Bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks. Bless God.